Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Listening In. We're going to be covering a topic today that if you're not consistently making this part of your process, you're probably costing yourself hires. This is one of those topics too that if you've got comments, best practices, want to share your thoughts, please add those into the comments because we love that. So the topic today is really, really important. Throughout the day, think about how many conversations you have. Now, when I say conversations, I'm referring to, something probably lasting more than 5 minutes. Meaning that candidate is really showing a genuine interest, seems like it could be a good fit, and you're feeling the same way. This could be a really good candidate, seems like they're qualified, so we're having a good conversation. Now, every situation is going to be different, every company, every role, but let's say you're only having 5 to 10 of those conversations per day. It becomes really, really important that those 5 to 10 conversations are really good. But there's a step that should come after that conversation that's also really important, and that's the recap email. So why is that so important? Why even spend some time talking about that? Well, we know that in general, when candidates open themselves up to opportunities, they're typically not just looking at your company. They could be, but in general, they're probably looking at 3, 4, 5 other ones as well. And now, I think we've all probably spoken with drivers and other candidates for different positions who, were in a good spot to take notes. And they were writing down the things that you were talking about. But that's definitely not always the case. And if you had a good conversation with them and you were memorable and they felt good about that conversation, what can happen is they actually end up mixing that conversation up with other ones that they had throughout that day or the past week. And so it becomes vital for them to connect that good experience that they had with you to a message that reinforces what was just spoken about. So, we often talk about people making decisions based off of emotion, which we know that's true, but they justify that with logic. And so that follow-up email, that recap, is really what helps them connect that, I felt good about that conversation and that company and that recruiter with, and here's all the things that justify that, the logic. So there's a couple ways that you can do that, probably even more than a couple, but we'll just talk about a couple. One of them is somewhat of a template where you kind of know the main talking points, pay or home time, equipment, those big selling points for your company. Obviously, you're going to want to include those and keep them out in front of the person. Now, one key I think is how do you customize that and really show that individual that you were listening and that it wasn't just a cookie cutter email that you sent afterwards, but it really includes some points that were specific to that conversation. So I think it's fine to have a template. You should, it'll speed things up, but add some to it. Take some away if you didn't cover it or it's not relevant. So it really does become a customized email that recaps the main points and helps them continue to feel good about the conversation, their option there. Because they'll start to mix that up with other companies. And what was that pay again? I don't remember what the home time was. Make it easy for them to find that. And then the second method I want to talk about is more and more AI is becoming just a part of people's everyday activities. So if you're using a phone system that not only records phone calls, but actually, provides a transcript of what was said. With 1 or 2 prompts now, you can take that transcript, throw it into AI, and have it spit out the recap. Now you've got a recap email that's very customized to what that conversation was all about. And obviously you're going to want to read through it and maybe update some things and make some changes before you send it. But how much time would that save you to come out with a very customized email based on that conversation that you can send as a recap? And like I mentioned in the beginning, it can actually cost you hires when you don't do this, because they begin to mix things up and they can't quite remember potentially what was discussed. They know they felt good about it, but they want to justify it with that logic of, yeah, the pay seems right, the home time, the equipment, all those things that I was excited about, I've got them here. Maybe I've got a significant other. I want to talk to them and share that information with them. It just makes it that much easier. So yeah, a couple things to consider. Have a template that you can customize and send out, or consider using AI and have that spit out a very nice email that you can send to stay top of mind and give them all the great points they need to choose you. So we're talking about creating a great experience. That's what the show's all about. So have a great recap email. Send it out to individuals soon after that conversation so they've got it handy. And you'll find you're winning over more individuals and finding the right fit both for you and them, and it works for everybody. So appreciate you tuning in. Have great recap emails, and we'll see you next time.